I don't know if black is the right color for your shoes and pants. If you want to hang ankle like that, you're creeping everybody out.
Better? One more ankle, be better? They look thick.
I think he'd have some socks.
Skill lift for the face, split jerk. We've got an EMOM. Starting at 60% of your 1 rep max every minute until failure. The gentlemen are gonna add 10 pounds every round until they fail. Ladies are gonna add, 10 pounds to 80% and then 5 pounds after 80%. So the idea is, do you move consistently enough that as you work through your EMOM, nothing really changes? And EMOMs are a great way to do that because they force a nice long warm up, and hopefully with a small incremental change, you don't change the way you move. You don't make a jump from like 275 to 315 and wonder why you can't split jerk anymore. So smaller jumps should allow for more consistent motor patterns so that when we get to, the opener, quarterfinals, or semifinals, this becomes how you move every single time. So trying to be light and snappy as we warm up, making sure that the warm up primes us for those heavy lifts later on. So you'll see us hit a lot of light barbell reps at very fast speeds. Fast being relative for me, but fast enough so that we get ourselves ready to hit some heavy lifts in today's session.
So if you only have 1 attempt per round, but if you miss a lift below 80%, you can reattempt it the next minute. If you fail a second rep or beyond 80%, then you're done.
Got it.
If my 80% is 192, but it's going up in 10-pound increments, should I add 5 at 185 or 195?
After 195 is when you make 5-pound jumps. The way you have it written right now is how I would agree with you. That's the way you should do it.
That's the opposite of what you said, though.
I'm saying it allows you to hit more, like if you somehow fail one of these, it allows you more opportunities to get more reps in. Basically, I'm saying like, create your 80% threshold at the one higher increment of something than one lower. Okay. Sorry if that was confusing, but that's what I meant.
At 115 it is. His first one was like the gym member who does a strict press and then coach looks, he snaps back.
That's exactly what it felt like too. I was like, I just strict pressed that.
What's your starting weight?
189, going to 185 because like, it's like Drew said a minute ago, it's skill based. So I would rather have one more opportunity to hit a warm up rep, building up in the EMOM, than to go even 5 pounds heavier and getting one less. So
145.
Okay. You have a goal?
It's hard to tell with EMOMs like this, just because you like as you get heavier, like the 185 to 195 to 200 and plus, going that soon back to back makes a pretty big difference. So I would be pumped if I hit like 215, but I might hit like 200. So we'll see.
All right. Here's a face we haven't seen for a while.
What's up, yo?
How you been?
Good. On vacation this week, so I'm just destroying myself in the gym.
Nice.
It's pretty great.
What weight are you starting at for this?
Starting at 200, going up by 10 pounds. I haven't done split jerk in a really long time, between like shoulder issues I've been having and just like how our phases work. We haven't really done them, so I dropped my all-time 1 rep max to like from like 350-ish to 335, just to have kind of like a longer warm up into this EMOM and see how it goes.
So when you ask for repeatability over and over and over, and we get into some volume, you're not going to be able to continue to add weight if you're just sort of muscling that weight up. It's going to take a lot more energy, and then being efficient at the heavier weights is going to be more challenging. So we looked at it and said, okay, how do we we're going to spend the 5 weeks in the middle on really nailing this movement down before moving on to the clean and jerk in the next block of programming. So what we do is we ask for a lot of reps, and we ask people to really stay aggressive and efficient at the same time. And if you are doing both of those things, you're going to be able to get fairly close to your max, whereas if you're muscling the weight overhead, you're going to start to fatigue and it's going to be over. We try to tackle a few different things when it comes to developing the split jerk. Consistency and actually getting some reps in is one of the biggest ones, which can be challenging because you're putting a decent amount of weight overhead. So we do a few more reps within this phase at a lighter percentage, and we ask people to stay aggressive. To me, that is the intersection of where someone can really be good at the split jerk when it gets to a heavier weight, especially if you're taking it out of the rack or the blocks and you don't get to front squat it up or clean it. It just feels so heavy coming out of the rack. So while it is so technical, you have to stay super aggressive. So we use good old-fashioned linear progression to take you from week 2 through week 6, where it's like just a little bit more weight, move the same, just a little bit more weight, move the same. And if you can stay aggressive that entire time, you will definitely PR on the test.
A human pipe cleaner.
Sorry, I don't mean to distract you.
Fuck yes, let's go!
Sweet.
Tied your all-time PR?
Yeah. Re-racking it over and over and over again. 240.
Honestly, the only thing I saw was related, I think, to the lifting or no lifting shoes. A couple of your dips, you could tell that you were fighting where the pressure in your foot was.
Yeah.
Your heaviest one, I think your heels might have been off the ground during your dip.
Nice.
Like it was like a little bit of this going on.
Yeah, I think that happens too when I unrack it and I can already feel like my legs kind of
Yeah.
shaking, because then I go very much in my toes. But way more than I expected to hit, and I've only ever hit 240 once. That was, I don't know, whenever Mitch was up for France.
Let's go!
Go get under it.
Come on! Yeah! Look at that! Fuck yeah!
I'm done. 365. Holy shit, that's a big PR. No, my adrenaline's out. I'll save it for later. What'd you hit?
240.
And you thought you were gonna hit like 215?
I didn't know.
I have 3 tips for you guys based on what I just watched. Number 1, no lollipop reps. They moved, it's sort of like you play how you practice. So they moved the same way at the very beginning, even though they didn't necessarily need to move 60%. Lollipop reps would be the, we make fun of it at camp, or it's this is how you do it versus all of them 60% really snapping under the bar. Number 2, there's gonna be that very first weight that you take out of the rack and your mind is like, whoa, that's heavy. Are you going to move the same even though your brain's gonna tell you not to? That's why we think this is more of a skill test. They all move very well. And then just make sure you're setting parameters for yourself in terms of what you're trying to improve on. It could literally just be weight. It could be, you know, a specific piece of technique. It could be you're not being aggressive, driving under the bar. Whatever it is, if you want to get better at something, you need to identify exactly what that thing is, work on it for 5 weeks, and then get to show it off at retest.
Pretty good. You know, like I was saying to you guys earlier on, I hadn't done a clean and jerk in a really long time, like put together an actual lift. So last week I messed around with it. I was like, split jerk doesn't feel great. So, you know, it's one of those things where I wasn't super confident going into this, but I love this style of lifting because it allows me to warm up and do exactly what Drew said. Like, it's a small iteration going and going, so you don't really change the way you move, because I tend to be someone that can ogre my way through lifts for a long time, and that hasn't led to very good movement patterns. So I like this style because you make small jumps. But happy with 316. I think in the retest, you know, maybe get some wrist wraps on my wrists so I can get a better positioning up overhead, because, you know, as it gets heavy, that starts to fuck with my psychology. And I'm looking for like a 325 or 335 in the retest. So get 5 good weeks of this work and have it pay off in the open and maybe quarterfinals. So stoked. All right, guys, that was the split jerk EMOM test, the skill lift for phase 4. If you are looking to do everything in your power to get yourself ready for the 2022 Open, quarterfinals, semifinals, and the CrossFit Games, head to misfitathletics.com. Check out phase 4. You won't be disappointed.